Okay, and finally, let's get into today's question. What is today's question? Well, it tells us we have a very small sphere. The radius of that sphere is measured in micrometers. What is a micrometer? Well, 1 million micrometers equals 1 meter. So it's a pretty small sphere. It wants you to find the surface area of the sphere in millimeters squared. Yeah, and it wants to have the volume of the sphere in centimeters cubed. So we're going to have to do some conversion of our units. I'm going to show you a couple different ways you can do that. But first we're going to have to know the equations to find the surface area of a sphere and also the volume of a sphere. And some professors will tell you these on like a help sheet that you might take with a test. I'm not sure if your professor will or not. Otherwise you're going to have to memorize them or look them up on like Google or something. Usually I just ask Drunken Fred. Yo, Drunken Fred, what's the equation for surface area and what's the equation for volume?
The surface area of a sphere equals 4 times pi times r squared, and the volume of a sphere is 4/3 times pi times r to the third.
Thanks, bro. Alright, so these are our equations for the surface area and the volume of a sphere. And now we're going to have to use these in our to answer these questions, because obviously that's what the question is asking for. And this is going to be question 12 in the book. And let's say the radius is, because they tell you the radius, we're going to say our radius is 2 micrometers. Like I said, micrometer is a million micrometers in 1 meter. And I'll put kind of that list down below. Pretty much micro is going to be the same for everything of your standard unit. And for example, microseconds, micrograms, or I'll put all that stuff down below, and it'll be pretty useful if you remember all of those, all of these like prefixes like micro, milli, kilo, all that. So you're going to want to learn that. I'll put that in the description. But for now, we're just going to figure out how to solve this problem. And for first one, for the surface area, it wants us to find the answer in millimeters squared. And for our volume, it wants us to find the answer in centimeters cubed. So obviously for each one we're going to have to do a conversion of our micrometers into one of these formats. So let's say we want to find out the surface area first. So we're going to do a simple unit conversion, and we want to get rid of the macrometers, or micrometers, I'm sorry. So we have our micrometers down here, and we're just going to convert it into our standard unit, which is meters. And like I said, there is a million micrometers in 1 meter. But now we still don't want meters, we want millimeters. And how many millimeters are in 1 meter? And this is going to be 1,000. And so now, as we can see, those will cancel, your meters will cancel, and you're left with millimeters. So we just need to solve out this equation. Just cancel off 3 zeros, and it ends up being 2 divided by 1,000, which would be, wow, I can't think right now, 002. Alright, so 002 millimeters is this exact same as saying 2 micrometers. So now we can use this millimeters in for our R, and we will end up getting millimeters squared, which is what we want. So as you can see, it's going to be 4 times pi times what we are using here, which is 0.002 millimeters, and this is all going to be squared. because this is just our radius in millimeters, and that's going to give us our answer. And again, the millimeters unit is squared as well, so we do get millimeters squared. And then we're going to have our answer. I'm not for sure what the answer is. I'm just going to guess. I'm not even thinking about the math, so don't say that, oh man, you're so stupid. But let's say it's just like something like that times 10 to the negative 5th. I have no idea. But this is going to be our answer, and now all we have to do is do some checking. So we're checking our millimeters squared. Yeah, that's correct. And then we need to check our significant figures. And you might be saying, oh, there's only a 4 here. There's only one significant number for a 4. But whenever you're using these conversion rates or a definite equation, because this is the equation for the surface area of a sphere. So you won't need to count the significant figures, because you don't want to say 4.000000000, you know, forever. You don't want to write all that down to make as many significant figures as you want. This is the actual equation, so we won't have to worry about the significant figures. We'll just have to worry about our variable, which is what we are given, which is 2.0. So you can see there's two significant figures there. So if it was 5.08 whatever, 118, you're just going to want to change this into two significant figures, which would be 5.0 times 10 to the negative 5th. Again, that answer is not right. But next thing we got to do, pretty much the same thing that we just did with the surface area, but we're going to change. But now we're going to need centimeters. So we need to convert our macrometers into centimeters. Sorry about it. And again, we're just going to go through meters first. So we're just going to say 1 million again to 1. And now centimeters to meters, there is, in 1 meter, we're going to have 100 centimeters. So again, we just find our answer, cross off all our units to check, and we are left with centimeters, and it will be 2 over 10,000, which will be just 0.0002. centimeters. And now we can use that in our formula again, and this is the same as this. It's just written in centimeters now. So now we're just going to plug this in. I don't know why I'm writing this, because I don't know the answer still, but I just want to show you guys that we're using 0.0002 centimeters. Oops, not squared. But this will all be cubed. And also I want to say, like, if you want to get real technical, I'm just using this for significant figures at the end result once we figure out the problem. But if you were to work through all your work and you're like, oh, this only has one significant number, and then you lose track of your original one and you're like, oh, I only actually have one significant number, you can write 0.00020 just to remind yourself. But that's kind of up to you to figure out. But now we're just going to again check our units, make sure our units match up, because if they don't, we're going to have to do another conversion of some sort. And so we see the centimeters units gets cubed. Whoa, cubed. And pi doesn't have any kind of unit variable, and 3 divided by 4 doesn't have any unit variable. So if we just times this out, and we'll figure out our volume of our sphere in cubic centimeters. So that's today's lesson. Again, thanks for watching, guys. Sorry if it was kind of long and confusing, whatever. Just leave some comments below, and thanks again for watching. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Peace.